Worse for wear. Hello, everyone. I'm having conversations with myself. At least I don't argue with myself. Well, sometimes I do. Today's June 25th, 2017. It is my day 40 in the second year, 10.040. And I was looking back just a moment ago in history to put myself in perspective. It was just about a year ago that my daughter realized that I was undergoing a transformation, as it were. She, uh, under the advice of the counselor, her counselor that we had kind of hired to take care of some things, other things. I had asked the counselor, when should I kind of come out to my daughter or tell her what's going on? And the counselor said, well, wait for her to make the first move. Wait for her to kind of realize. And so I looked in the journal. It was June 28th last year, which is when my daughter realized that I was on hormones. And I told her, full disclosure, this is what's going on. And I think I even started it. And I said, Katie, I've never lied to you, and I'm not going to start now, etc., etc., etc. And she was pretty cool with it from day one. And it's been one hurdle I never really had to deal with, was having a child that didn't understand or wouldn't accept or whatever. So I'm very, very thankful that went down the way that it did. But that was a year ago. So what's going on today? A couple things. One is I went to a board game night here in Indiana last night, and it was pretty interesting. It was very similar to the one from a week ago in Louisville, but this was over here in Indiana, and it was really kind of neat, to walk into the room, and I feel like I look a lot better today than I did yesterday, although there's still some starting to get that little Brillo pad scratchiness feeling, but I made sure I took time yesterday and I went to the bathroom like in the afternoon and I shaved my legs like, over the toilet, and got really close, and I shaved here really, really close, and everything, and I took my time, and I did makeup, but I did very, very light, the nude, oh, I'm not wearing any, bullshit. And I just kind of went and walked in the room, and it was like I was the only girl there, and I was the only woman there, and I was the only woman there all night long. And at one point, the one of the owners of the gaming shop came in to bring coffee to everybody, and he kind of looked over in the corner, and his first thing was, oh, it's a new person. And then his second glance was, oh, it's a girl, it's a woman, Thanks. But it was really kind of cool. And again, much like my other video where I talked about going to a game night for the first time, it's cool to be instantly treated as a woman, as she, her. It's never a question. Or if it is, they're nice enough not to say anything and treat you as a female, as a woman, etc., etc., etc. So, I'm doing it to keep myself busy, and I'm doing it because I enjoy it. But I'll be honest with you, I'm also fishing. They say that a boy chases a girl till she catches him, and I don't know what the male, female, male, woman, man equivalent of that is, but I am definitely doing it to seek a boyfriend, husband, etc., 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 because I have needs as a person, and my hope is that this time next year I will have a hoo-ha downstairs, and I will definitely want to be having some sex. And so, but anyway, you probably knew that already. So, but it was very, very cool, and there was one person in particular who just took my breath away. He was very, 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 very intelligent. I mean, like, kind of like a brainiac type guy, and he analyzed the game we were playing. We were building castles, and he analyzed every step. How many points would he get, and if this turn, if he did it the next turn, he could do something else. Then 2 turns from now, he like chess, thinking 3 moves ahead, and analyzing everything and maximizing his, I was just like, oh. And at one point, he helped me with my pieces, and I deliberately reached out and moved my piece so our hands would touch at the same time. Guilty. But anyway. Oh, cheap thrills right now. It's one of those things you want to be, woo me, woo me. You want to be a little bit of Rome. I don't know, Rome. I don't know. I'm full of shit. Tell me I'm full of shit. Robin, you're full of shit. Yes, I am. So that's really kind of cool, and like I said, I'm going to continue that. I noticed that a couple folks kind of went to chill, and in the past I would have felt bad or wanted to go to chill, and then I'd get there and sit and drink and smoke, and you know what? Not my cup of tea. Not right now. So I'm very glad that I went to game night and hung out with the guys and the boys, the big boys, and played some games and. It was very, very cool to be myself, which one could argue I did before. But again, as we were doing the things, I was like, oh, and oh, and I didn't have to be the whatever I was before. I could just react and let the estrogen flow. I played one game and then I left. I needed to get out of there. Just, one game and I'm gone. So, anyway. But will anything come of it? I don't know. You don't know unless you try. You will never catch a fish if you don't throw a line out. I pretty much have stopped checking Plenty of Fish. I'm probably going to do it for a little bit because I'm curious tonight. But the responses that I have gotten lately, if they come in, have totally been guys... and the sequence is the same. The algorithm is the same. The first message is something to the effect of hello or hey beautiful or hi, which is pretty innocuous. And then the second one, although it tips you off when they say hey beautiful. And then the second one is something general like, oh, what do you do? And then the third one is, can I have your number? Do you text? And it's one of those things at that point, within 5 minutes, you're asking me for my phone number, and I need to kind of think about my policy, come up with my own algorithm. And, if I don't like them, used to be, when you're new to it and I'm desperate, I guess, you don't want to turn away anything, but then you're like, you know what, I'm not really into you. And, guys, I think, accuse women of playing games. No games. I see that like on a lot of profiles, and not to lead them on, but to be from the get-go. Not even to respond to it. A lot of them, I think it's like a shotgun approach anyway. They're gonna say hi or hey beautiful to 40 people, and 10 of them will reply back, and I don't know. And I had a couple of them that like. They lived in New York or they lived in Dallas, Texas. And it would be like, I'm sorry, I don't live near you. And they're like, oh, well, I'm in Louisville every so often for business. And, it's like, no, you're trying to, get a blowjob or something. I don't know. Just not what I'm into. Not what I'm into. And I was one guy who it was an odd thing. He, handsome man. 38, 39 years old, a couple years younger than me, but not by much. And he said something in his profile of, I wish women would understand that what it's like to be a single dad and having to take care of a daughter, and the child comes first. You please understand. And I wrote him back, and I was like, well, I can relate. I have a 10-year-old daughter myself, and it didn't go anywhere, but it was one of those things I was kind of hoping, like, okay, he has a daughter, I have a daughter, we get together and go to the zoo, or we go do something together, the girls hopefully would hit it off, or, again, it's something in common in a way. I don't know. Does that make any sense? What else is going on? We're doing a lot of cleaning in the house. This morning I did the last kind of yard work thing. And yesterday I dragged the big Mama Jama pool, the stand-up pool from the basement, and drag it out to the street. This thing, when it's not set up, stretches from one end of the basement to the other. It's huge. It's a circle, but it's elongated. And I had a hard time getting up the stairs, and I hurt my back a little bit. But it's out of the house now, and so that's really, really good. And then today we moved up a recliner from the basement to the top. And so really there's a lot of change inside the house now, and I'm starting to reclaim some of the space in the basement, which I think I'm going to kind of use as a meditation / quiet space, since my daughter kind of likes the upstairs and doesn't really like the basement. I can go in the basement and read. It's quiet, reflect, and everything. So that's really positive. But on the other hand, there's things that, again, if we want to sell the house in a couple of years, we need to, start to paint. And the one thing the realtor told me when they came last time is they said, you just have too much stuff. You need to downsize. And so that's been a huge thing. And again, it's interesting to go through things that maybe I had one opinion of 5 years ago, and I have a different opinion of it now, and I really can't think of a good example. Tools are a good thing, like an incomplete socket set, or a hammer. I already have a hammer. I don't need 2 hammers. Trying to downsize a little bit, and then there's just some things I know I'm never going to do again. So take it out to the street, let someone salvage it. Pretty good deal. What else is going on here? Still on day 40. Breasts are sore. Oof. I'm hoping that's indicative of another growth spurt. It'd be nice. Yeah. I don't have to tell you that. We want them big, don't we? We want them big. Oh, golly, man. There was a scene from the movie, I think it was Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. It was one of those transgender movies without it being a transgender movie. The Dr. Jekyll, the guy transforms into a woman, and she's beautiful, of course, but she has breasts. And I'm like, oh, gosh, man. Well, before I was like, I want her breasts. But anyway, I want my own now. That's neither here nor there. Really, that's just about it. Life is progressing on, and it's kind of neat now to just, when I think about my surgery and saving up, I just say I'm on track. Used to be this big explanation about when I can afford it and how am I doing and what's my weight situation, and now I just say I'm on track. I'm in progress. It'll be that way for 11 more months. That's the short of it. So, and I guess that's it. So I will sign off here and put a heating pad on my back. I did mess it up a little bit. I am not as strong as I used to be, and I don't have the stamina that I used to have. So, and really that's about it. So I guess I'll sign off and just say life is good. I hope things are good for you in your own journey. And until next time, bye. Good luck. We'll see ya.